Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Friendly Fire. This is the brand new sports betting show brought to you 100% entirely by Rival Fantasy. You'll see the scroll down at the bottom. You just go to joinrival.com/title tribe. This betting show is going to be around Nate and I and our bets that we place on the show, and occasionally Uncle Steve as well. I got him all set up with his account today, but we went over last week, so go back and check out last week's episode if you want to learn more about how each individual game works. But one thing we didn't get into a whole lot of was they also offer mock drafts, and the mock drafts are actually free on Rival Fantasy. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. We're going to do a mock draft right here for you. But Nate, buddy, how's it going tonight? And after you tell me that, I understand you got a little bit of a success story that you want to share with us about Rival.
Yeah, things are good, man. It's been nice, just relaxing for the last couple of days, hanging out with some family. So that's fun, and the boys are keeping me busy. That's for sure. So
yeah, mending. You're mending your injuries.
Yeah, mending my, and it, like I said, it's kind of. I'm ready to go back to work. I've been off work for like over a month, and I'm very, very bored. I love being home with my wife and kids, but like. I'm not meant to be at home all day. I just can't do it. The people that can, like my wife stays home with her boys, God bless her. I couldn't do it. I can't.
Right. Well, what's a success story, my man?
So last week I decided to make a bet, and I had when I started my account, you get your bonus money from Rival, and not necessarily like the match money, but just bonus money. I think maybe it was, I guess, the match money or whatever. But I picked on their fantasy book part of the app where you can pick, I think, up to 7 guys, or you can do 2 guys, 1 guy, or whatever. Obviously, it doesn't pay as much, but I picked 5 guys, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very. Same with the other gambling show we do, like full transparency. Like I'll tell you if I'm losing or whatever, I thought I'd picked these 5 guys to go over their fantasy points. I picked them to go under, and they all went under. So my $10 turned into $50 on, it was pretty much all luck. I picked Nolan Arenado, Mookie Betts, Randy Arozarena, Ellie De La Cruz, and Sandy Alcantara. And actually, the only one that was close was Sandy Alcantara. He missed by like 1.5 points going over. So half the guys I don't think played that day, so it worked out, because it was early enough in the day where you could still, they still had him on there. So yeah, I got a little extra money in the account now, and I've been playing bingo almost every day. I think I missed it 2 days ago. I was doing something and I kind of forgot what time it was, but haven't hit on bingo yet, but it's still fun to, you got to try. That bingo's a lot of
fun. Don't forget on the shoot, what's the word I'm looking for here? On the fantasy book, you choose several different players there, but if some of them do not play for whatever reason, they just get taken out of the bet altogether. So if you chose the over and they didn't play, you're not going to lose that portion of it, but it just gets thrown out of the bet, and then it just lessens the amount that you could have won. So had they all played and you hit them all, you would have actually won even more.
Yeah. So, and one of the games was canceled, so that, like you said, it kind of take him out. And I actually, if Chris is listening, I don't know if he is, the Iceman from Playing with House Money, he sent me a challenge yesterday, and he sent it as a joke with Jordan Montgomery because that's who started for the Cardinals. And I said, no, send it with Nate Eovaldi, the Rangers pitcher. And I can't remember who he even picked. So he sent it again. And then I was at my mom and dad's house, and I don't know what I was doing. So I forgot to accept the challenge, but I would have won that as well. So I'd have been 1-0, but I didn't win because I didn't accept it. So had I accepted it, I probably would have lost.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun to kind of, talk trash. He knows baseball a lot better than me, so I probably shouldn't be even playing against him in baseball. But, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and show the people a little bit about what the website looks like here, because I actually won a bet today for
nice.
I'm kind of surprised here, but so like I said, I got Uncle Steve set up with his account today, and he and I placed a bet against each other just to kind of see how it all worked out. And I randomly chose a player. I've heard the name Justin Verlander, but honestly, I don't watch baseball. But and again, guys, I understand these are a couple of sports guys that are talking sports bets, and we're acting like we have no idea what we're doing. We know how to play sports bets with football.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting to. We're going to get to the football. Right now, this is all just getting us used to the site and primed. But I chose Justin Verlander because I had heard of him, and Steve had chose Yu Darvish.
Yep.
And it's just a straight up bet. I sent him the challenge. It was a $1 bet. He accepted the challenge with the Yu Darvish, and I won because Justin Verlander, as you can see right here, outscored Yu Darvish by about almost like 4.3 points. So I win the bet. And you'll notice it was a $1 bet. I won $1.80. So they take 10% from the house. Yep. Exactly right. So 20 cents, so 10 cents each from us. And then I win $1.80. And if you look up here at the top, I now have that amount in my account, which shows that I've lost more than I've won. And then this right here, this is just special bonus amounts. This is available bonus money that you can bet. After you bet so much money, they give you so much in free bonus bets. So they're just constantly giving you free money. So it's insane how well this is working out as far as just being able to have fun. I feel like I might be able to use this $200 and have fun with it all season long. And again, the only reason that it's even $200 is because I put in 100 and they matched it. And I am an affiliate, so I didn't get the extra bonus $25. But again, if you look down there at the screen, at the bottom of your screen, it's joinrival.com/title tribe. You drop up to $200 in there. They'll match it for another 200. And then you'll get the additional 25 bonus. I only put in 100 and got it matched. Had I put in 200, I'd have $400 in there right now. 425 had I used the link if I were just a listener or viewer watching this episode right now. So we're gonna get right into this. I'm gonna show you right here. All you have to do to access the mock drafts, you go to the season long tab. They do not have season long fantasy football yet, but they do offer these mock drafts for the time being while they're working on it. So, and again, this is a new site, guys. So there's going to be some glitches. There's going to be some different things that are a little bit out of whack, and they're working on it slowly. The betting side is on. Like I said, we've shown you how it works, and Nate won money off of it. I won a little bit today, but I'm just going to click right here on this mock draft, and I've already set it up, and I've already gotten it all ready to roll, but I do want to show you if you want to customize it. They do have a few offers or a few different things that you can customize with. You can copy the link and send it like I did to Nate, so he's ready for the draft here. You see that he is in at the 104. I'm over here at the 112, so you're not really able to see that very well, but I'll fix that in a second. Draft settings, you click there on the draft settings and you can change it. It does look a lot like the format of the Sleeper app. I get that. They do not have a whole lot of customizations. Again, I've noticed some glitches today. I want to give you a heads up. They're 2 quarterbacks and they're super flexes. If you try to use those under the roster settings, it's not going to really register. The ADP is still exactly the same. It's like their ADP. It's like they only have one set of ADP and it's only solely for one quarterback. So that's the mock we're going to do tonight, is a 1 quarterback mock. Had it been set to Superflex, you still would not see a quarterback taken until the 2nd or 3rd or 4th round. So that's one glitch. The other glitch we're going to notice here in just a few moments that I caught. But again, they're working out the kinks and it's going to get better. So Nate, are you do you have any questions about anything that's going on?
No, and I want to say too, I'm pretty sure they said last week, like they're hoping to have a lot of stuff ready to roll out by the NFL season with season long, correct?
Yes, that's their goal and their hope. We're just not allowed to promise it yet.
That's what I had heard. I wanted to make sure that was it. So.
Yep. And also some of you may actually, if you're watching this and you're going to Canton or you're from the Ohio area, you may actually recognize my hat or the logo on my hat right here. So I want to kind of talk about that a little bit. So this is from High Grain Brewing Company. So my son took me to a beer tasting for Father's Day weekend, and High Grain, man, they had some great beer there. So you might
They looked like they had some great beer there. It's like you enjoyed them.
Yeah, I sure did. You might notice I'm drinking Bud Light tonight, but that's just because I'm all out of high grain, right? So they're not a sponsor, but they are based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They are a local craft beer, so I want to support them because we're also a small business at Toilets Titles, and we want to support other small businesses. And I just want to throw out there that they have an amazing Rushmore oatmeal milk stout, an IPA flight, and Izar Weiss. That Izar Weiss is a Bavarian Hefeweizen that was absolutely amazing. I love Hefeweizens, but that one was on point. So I'm just throwing that out there in case anybody out there in the Cincinnati area wants to pick up a case and ship it to me. I'll DM you my address. So all right. So enough of that. Let me get my mug off of here so we can pull up the draft board. All right. So one quarterback, a PPR. It is PPR. And let's see. We're going to be starting one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, and a defense, and 6 bench spots. We probably won't get through the whole thing. I don't expect to get through the whole thing. But yeah, if you're ready, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
All right. All right. So you'll notice that I have it set to auto draft really fast. So no super big surprises there. I know personally I'm more of a running back first kind of guy, but you can't go wrong with Jefferson and Jamar there. And Nick Chubb, dude, you're right on brand with your Nick Chubb pick for sure.
Well, I can't. He's not going to make it back, and he's my RB1. He has been, I think, since I've known you.
Yes.
And I don't think that's going to change yet. It's just consistency year after year. They have a great line. I expect Deshaun Watson to play a lot better this year. He's 28 years old. It's been a long time since he's played a full season. And I just think that team's going to be a lot better. Very tough division, but I love Nick Chubb. He's my guy. The other running backs that were taken around him, I feel that he will be better than all of them this year. So,
yeah, I agree. Austin Eckler's next, and in PPR, he's probably my RB2 overall right now, just because of the sheer volume targets that he got peppered with last year.
Yep.
I don't see that changing a whole lot. Cooper Kupp was the third wide receiver. I don't disagree with that, but there are some concerns there. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not going to fault somebody for taking him high, but I'm not personally. I think maybe late second round, I might take a chance on him if he's still there, but he won't be.
I don't think Matt Stafford plays the whole season. So
yeah, if he doesn't play the whole season, then obviously this whole conversation is done because that means he's cooked. Yeah. Travis Kelce, no surprise there. PPR, he should go in the first round. Tyreek, quite possibly the wide receiver 3. On my board at least. Bijan Robinson, this rookie, man, he just keeps climbing the charts, keeps climbing ADP. Stephon Diggs, Jonathan Taylor, I was really hoping would fall to me right there as a Colts fan, obviously. But I'm not scared of my pick. My first round pick here is Saquon Barkley, and I'm not at all scared of injury concerns or anything like that. It's a bunch of freak stuff that has happened over the years. We've had Dr. Jesse Morris on a few times. He's talked about it before. His injuries are not all related to each other. It's not like he's injury prone necessarily in the sense that it's just been like the one time when the play was over and he was jogging off the field and some lineman got his foot up underneath his foot and he rolled his ankle and he was out half the season. Like, he sprained it on a fluke little thing that didn't even have to do with football. So when he's healthy, he's a monster. So yeah. I like that. And then I like the sheer volume. Again, redraft, PPR, I'm going heavy running back all the time, anytime. I'm going with Tony Pollard here because that sheer volume. He is the guy in Dallas, undisputed, and he's probably going to see probably 65 to 70% of all the running back touches. Then we got a wide receiver run here, Nate, setting you up for your pick. You got CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra, Josh Jacobs gets squeaked in there, and then Garrett Wilson. Now in 2 quarterback leagues, I'm really hoping that Garrett Wilson falls back to me on that 3-4 turn if I'm drafting from the 12.
Sorry. That was the noise from the draft going to I didn't realize it was going crazy. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
I didn't know if my mic would pick it up or not.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
And then after Garrett Wilson, now you'll notice the next glitch here that I noticed, and I pointed it out to our guys over at Rival, but you'll notice Pat Mahomes was taken right before your pick here, and he has the same color sticker as the wide receivers. From what I understand, they tried to use a different hue of blue, and it just didn't work out. It didn't transfer very well, so they are working on trying to fix that here pretty soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm big on Garrett Wilson too. I think he'd be awesome to get. You know, if you could get him, I'm not taking him. Well, where he went there, if I was drafting there, maybe, but especially with redraft, like you said, I'm the same way. Like we're pounding running backs till I don't care if I have 6 of them. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so tough. Speaking of running backs, I'm going to take one. I don't know if I can remember ever having any shares of this guy, but yeah, he's the team. I don't care that they got DeAndre Hopkins. They're still going to run the ball a ton. That's not going to change, you know. And he's one of the guys that somehow, regardless of the amount of carries he's getting, is still getting them and still just running over everybody. So yeah, I love having Derrick Henry.
If you can get a bell cow that's a former rushing title winner in the league at mid to late second round, you got to go for it. So then Jalen Waddle or Ramondre Stevenson, another guy that I'm targeting.
I was hoping he was going to be there at my third pick.
Yeah. Well, I keep comparing this to Superflex because I know a lot of guys play Superflex, especially guys that do sports betting. So in Superflex leagues, he may fall at that 12 spot in the 3-4 turn. So
I think so because, that first, I mean, if I'm at the 104, I'm not taking Nick Chubb in a Superflex league.
Right.
So, that's going to change things quite a bit. And, and who knows if you're taking Saquon at the 112, probably not. I mean, I guess it could be at the 201, you could take your quarterback or whatever. Maybe you don't want to go quarterback, but so a lot of the guys are going to get pushed down the other way as well. Yeah. So,
and then I just discovered a new glitch. This is set to be a 1 quarterback league, and the guy at the 101 here, the Autobot, chose Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts back to back. So that's not going to happen in a 1 quarterback mock on most sites. So this is obviously an ADP issue that they need to fix. So I'm sure they'll be working on it. And then we got Mark Andrews, Chris Olave, and now you're up, Nate.
So I don't know. I don't think I can. This is a little, I guess it'd be a little bit of a reach, but I'm going to go do something different. Najee Harris was there. That was kind of who I thought, or Breece Hall. But I think Travis Etienne is in for a big season, big workload. I think the Jaguars are going to do well in the AFC South. And I think he's going to be a big part of that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's a great pick. I think that entire offense is gonna blow up the season. So Devonta Smith went after that. Najee Harris, like what I like about him is he's a steady Eddie. I think he's gonna consistently get you a high floor every single week. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not known for any of those high ceilings. So, but as an RB2. Or in your case, and it would have been your RB3. That's a steal. So
yep, and he was the other one, and Breece Hall too. But yeah, I know. I think I told you maybe, last year the Steelers had like one scoring play that was like over 20 yards. That so like and I know a lot of running backs don't have big explosive plays, but that helps too. And you just worry about the Steelers offense. It's like, yeah, they can score some points, but until I see him kind of make a step in the right direction where they can kind of be a little more potent on offense, I kind of want to stay away from it.
Yeah, well, they had one scoring play of over 20 yards because they only had 4 scoring plays all season. But that's included.
He threw 1 touchdown to a wide receiver all year.
Yeah, I know.
That's not, again, I'm just saying like it's a tough offense to get any parts of.
And that's not, but that can't be, that can't sustain like that. There's got to be a positive.
It's just like the Lions aren't going to have a guy score 17 touchdowns on the ground again this year. Like that's not happening again. Right. Like that's just not normal.
So you mentioned Najee Harris and Breece Hall. Breece went at the 308 with T Higgins going in between them. Breece Hall, listen, that Dr. Jesse Morse, he knows his stuff. Like, he's worked with
Yes.
professional teams, and he took Brees Hall at the tail end of the second round in the Scott Fish Bowl, which is a super flex league. And he said he's not scared. He's with the type of injury and the way that his rehab has been and the type of body type that he is, he's not scared to take Brees Hall. So if he's not scared, I know I'm not scared.
Same here.
So next we have after Brees Hall went DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel, Kenneth Walker, tail end of the third round. What do you think of the Kenneth Walker? That one kind of, I'm a little bit iffy on him with them going out and getting Charbonnet like they did. It kind of concerns me about what they think of Kenneth Walker.
I think with the Rashad Penny left, I think Charbonnet was kind of to fill that role. There's a glaring problem in Seattle with running backs getting hurt every single year. Whether it's Chris Carson, Rashad Penny. I'm trying to think of the other guys that have been hurt. Travis Homer got hurt. DJ Dallas. I'm digging deep here for guys. I'm trying to remember names because there's so many guys that are always playing.
Pete Carroll's pride.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I love Pete Carroll. I love the Air Monarchs, chomping the gum, but like there's something going on that the running backs are hurt every single year. So I don't know if Charbonnet was just to kind of fill that spot for Rashad Penny. I mean, you got to be looking at something wrong if you don't see what Kenneth Walker did last year. Like, I mean, he had to be one of the top guys for rookie of the year, so
right.
I don't know if they can take a bunch of carries away from him, but
yep.
I am kind of worried. And same with DK Metcalf. Seemed like a high spot for him. I don't think I've seen him go that high in any draft.
Because
he went 2 picks before at the 3-9.
So that's the wide receiver 18 overall. So if you look at it that way, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah. See, we're used to drafting super flex, so we got to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And now again,
I like your pick, by the way.
I'm very running back heavy, and this I couldn't pass up Aaron Jones at this point. Like
Nope.
I get that AJ Dillon's there, but I think they feed off of each other, not take away from each other. So I absolutely love this spot for especially as my RB3. I'm setting some real trade bait here. Next, like I said, running back heavy, but sometimes value falls to you. And in a PPR league, I cannot pass up for the positional value, knowing that we're only starting one tight end. I can't pass up TJ Hawkinson. That's a set it and forget it tight end that's going to score week in and week out with some high upside any given week. So I'm not going to hesitate to take TJ Hawkinson there on the turn. Then we've got Keenan Allen. Joe Burrow comes off as the second quarterback. No, I forgot Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts there. So I'm not quite
fourth quarterback.
Yeah, fourth quarterback. So Amari Cooper goes right after him, then Joe Mixon, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Gibbs, DeAndre Hopkins. So we're starting to see some quarterbacks here taken in this the fifth round, in this fourth round right here. Still a little early for me personally. What do you think, Nate?
For quarterback, yeah, I'm not. I probably am not going to take if it's one quarterback. I won't have any of those top tier guys because I'm probably not taking a quarterback till the 10th, 12th round or something like that. Just because I don't really prioritize it nearly as much. Even I guess if it's like the 7th round and Josh Allen's there, yeah, of course I'll take him, but he's not going to make it that far. So
right,
but I am going to take my first receiver. I'm excited to see what Calvin Ridley does. Another Jaguar. There were a couple other guys I looked at too, but he's got fresh legs, man. And I think he's going to do very well with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I like it. And a stack doesn't always necessarily have to be a quarterback and a wide receiver. If the stack is right with the right value and the right positions, it can be anything. So I like this stack here. Let's see. Then we got Terry McLaurin, a guy that I'm really down on. And I honestly cannot believe that Terry McLaurin is going to go before DJ Moore. Personally, I've got DJ Moore slotted to get 1,100 yards and at least 8 touchdowns this season. That's going to put him at the low-end wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 spot at the wide receiver position for fantasy football. So late 4th round, I think that's an absolute steal. Honestly, had I not taken TJ Hawkinson there, DJ Moore was the next guy I was looking at. even over DeAndre Hopkins, even over Calvin Ridley, even over Joe Mixon and Keenan Allen. So I'm thinking pretty highly of DJ Moore. I understand, but what say you?
You're trying to talk me into this. I know that. I like DJ Moore. I always have. I told you that before the show. I'm a little more down on him this year. His quarterback's never thrown for over 200 yards in a game. That worries me. And I think the talent that Justin Fields has is undeniable, but the passing game needs to take a lot of steps forward for them to put up those big numbers. And maybe they will, but it's a big Mother May I step to go from where he was to where we hope he'll be, if that makes sense. And that's I think he's going to be better. I'm not saying he isn't, but
how about this? So he was taken as the wide receiver 22 here. I was about to take him at the wide receiver 17. Yeah. I think he's going to score top 15 as the wide receiver. Do you think he's going to touch anywhere close to that?
No, I don't. I don't think he is.
All right, so I can put that on the board.
Put it on the board. Yeah, I'll take that.
All right. So next we have Justin Herbert. Go ahead and make your pick here because your time is getting close. J.K. Dobbins, Jerry Jeudy. Let's see.
Dameon Pierce.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce. Christian Watkins. So that's
that'd be a homer.
It was nice you. Yeah, I was going to say that's your guy. What do you think of that pick? But obviously, I'm about to find out.
I'm not a guy that thinks he's going to have 1,200 yards or something crazy like that. I think he'll finish, as a top, I hope a top 20 guy, maybe not top 30. I don't have like overinflated expectations for the Packers. I think we're going to kind of struggle a little bit. But he's going to be Love's guy. And I think that helps. And, we saw last year just his athleticism helps him a lot. And that's kind of where I'm at with him. And it was either him or Drake London for me. And I loved Desmond Ridder, but I have a little more faith in Jordan Love just because, sitting in an offense for 3 years helps.
And I have no wide receivers to this point. So Christian Watkins, Chris Godwin, and Drake London were the three guys that I was hoping would fall to me, and they all went beforehand. So now I've got to start looking at wide receivers. Nate, we're going to finish through the 6th round, and I'm going to try to pause it at the end of the 6th round. And maybe if it'll save for that long, maybe we can try to finish this thing up next week for next week's show. So since we don't have actual football going on, we got to figure out something to fill the time. I think this is good. All right. So wide receivers, as a homer,
take your guy, take him. Gosh darn it. Take him.
But the thing is I don't believe in Anthony Richardson. I don't.
Hey, somebody that doesn't believe in him. I'm with you.
What's that?
I'm with you.
Okay. All right. Good. So you're just trying to make me lose this mock. I get it.
No, I like Michael Pittman. I'm worried. That's another guy. I'm more worried about him than other guys, but yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of question marks here. So going, but they're also kind of value, even though they're question marks, they're values considering that you're getting them at the 5th, 6th, 7th round. So with all the question marks, I've got to believe that Deontay Johnson makes a bounce back season. There's no way he goes the entire season without scoring a touchdown. We talked about it a little bit earlier. There's going to be some positive regression here. I'm going to take Deontay Johnson here. Very weak wide receiver 1. I get that. And I totally respect that. But I've got all this running back help that's going to help keep me afloat. And I'm going to get some good values later on in the draft. I'm confident that I will. I actually like Josh Downs more than I like Michael Pittman this year, and not on a fantasy points basis. I still think Michael Pittman outscore him because he's going to have more opportunity. But Josh Downs is going to have those games that's going to piss you off as a Michael Pittman fan.
What about Alec Pierce? What's going to happen? Is he going to do something yet this year?
I think he's going to get faded out eventually. And here's the reason I say that is Josh Downs is known for being a ball hawk. He's going to track the ball unlike anybody that we've seen in a long time at this level eventually. Just because we saw it in college, he can track the football. And Anthony Richardson is a guy that can't really accurately throw the football. So I mean, it's a match made in heaven. Like, I was really upset about the Anthony Richardson pick as a Colts fan, but then they went and drafted Josh Downs, and I was like, well, if you're gonna screw it up, you kind of help make up for it a little bit. So that's and you know what? Something else I noticed off here on the bottom right hand corner, they've got a little screen here to help you keep track of your roster. So that's kind of nice.
I just saw that. Or I think
neat.
at my second pick I saw it or whatever.
Then I don't have to keep scrolling up and looking and checking it out. But anyhow, so I'm avoiding that one for right now. All those question marks that you had about DK Metcalf earlier, I have the same question marks about all the wide receivers there. But this wide receiver I'm now getting at a later value. I'm getting him in the 6th round, and I don't think that at the end of the year he's going to be too far off from DK Metcalf. So I'm going to take Tyler Lockett as my wide receiver too.
Hell yeah. I love Tyler Lockett, man. He always just been, steady Eddie, just been fun. Gosh darn it.
Mr.
That's what I wanted. I wanted Brandon Ayuk. I was going to make a bathroom board bet with you if you wanted, saying he's going to be the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco, but I mean, I still can make the bet, but I just.
Oh yeah, we can definitely make that bet because I'm all about Debo this season. So let me write that down. But okay, so after my Tyler Lockett pick, we got Miles Sanders, we got Cam Akers, guys. These are and Alexander Madison was taken shortly after that with Michael Pittman in between. All 3 of those running backs are steals at this value at this point. I think all 3 of them are going to be workhorse backs. All 3 of them are going to score you a lot of fantasy points. All 3 of them have the potential to be a low-end RB1 most weeks and probably a high-end RB2 overall on the season. So great value here in the later rounds for these running backs. And I get that that's an argument for not doing all these running backs in the beginning like Nate and I did. But at the same time, I could still be drafting these running backs if I really wanted to. And then I have all that trade bait later on.
Cam Akers is one, though. I'm not big on him. The Rams worry me. There's like 40 guys on that roster that have played less than a season of NFL football. I know there's 90 guys on the roster right now, but that's a lot to rely on. Their depth is not there, and that concerns me. Yeah. And offensive line depth makes you nervous.
Yeah. So after that, we got Kyle Pitts, hopefully going to be a PPR monster this year. Trevor Lawrence, and then, as you said, Brandon Ayuk. So now that you were sniped, what do you got in store for us at the 609?
Well, I'm going to take a guy that coming off an injury. Hopefully the team's going to be better. I loved him. I feel like last year he was like a 1st, 2nd round pick. So I know obviously the ACL, and the team stunk last year. I don't think they can be that bad. I don't know if maybe Russ Wilson doesn't make the whole year or not, but I love Javonte Williams, and I think getting him into the 6th round is a pretty good spot for him. It's either him or Mike Evans, just because I've liked Mike Evans since he came into the league from Texas A&M. So.
No, I mean, I like it for the area that it's at. As a matter of fact, I have him listed as my RB 27, I believe it was. And we posted that on Twitter at Toyless of Titles.
And Instagram.
And the Insta. I keep forgetting we're on Insta now. We're hip.
And Threads. It's on all of them.
Yeah. So I have him listed as my RB 27 or 28, and I kind of got heat from Jared about it because he thought he was going to finish way higher. You just got him at the 24. I made a board bet with him because I don't think he's going to finish in the top 24. I think he's likely to finish on the outside of that, but I think that injury is just too fresh, and I think the fact that they brought in help in the form of Perrine is going to be a deterrent, because I think Perrine is better than a lot of people like to give him credit for, and he's going to show that he, even after Javonte is healthy, he deserves some carries. So now this late and this value and the fact that he's your RB4, I love it. I really do. Don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying.
No, I'm with you. I agree. I don't think he's going to be a top 15. I don't think he'd be top 15, top 10 at all. No chance. So.
And then James Conner. And then I will say this. I think we both screwed up by not taking Rachaad White. I should have looked a little bit heavier into the running backs, because I honestly think that he should be right up there with Alexander Madison, Cam Akers, and Miles Sanders. I should have taken one of those 4. I'm real big on Rachaad White in PPR because he was a PPR machine those last few games last season, and I get he had Tom Brady that was dumping it off like a rookie fool, but yeah, I really like him this season, and he's going to be on the Hayden Hurst Podathon this weekend on Fantasy Face Off on YouTube, a production that Toilets to Titles are going to be producing. Myself and 3 others from the team will be producing that Hayden Hurst Podathon. So make sure you tune into the Fantasy Face Off on YouTube. And then we finish it out at the 612 with Mike Evans. So
That's the real steady Eddie. Mike Evans is the real steady Eddie. 1,000 yards every year, no doubt.
Yeah. I think honestly he very likely will finish ahead of Chris Godwin yet again this season. Yes. And for some reason, Chris Godwin just keeps getting taken and ahead of him. So
I want to say one thing I didn't get to mention earlier about your 3rd pick, Aaron Jones. You should hear what Bobby and I had to say about him. Tomorrow at noon on Lambeau Speak, we talk all about the running back dilemma that's going on and a lot about Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon hasn't been picked yet in this draft, but he will be soon. So, yeah, check that out tomorrow when it gets released.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you check out that awesome thumbnail on YouTube.
It is phenomenal. Thank you, Justin. I can't wait for everybody to see it. It's badass. It's so great.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. You give me some good material to work with. Sure. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap that up at the end of the 6th round. Hopefully this saves and we can pick it up where we left off next week. But next week we will talk a little bit more about the bets that we made this week. We'll talk a little bit more about Rival as a whole in general, and then maybe even tease a little bit about some stuff that's going to be going on at the Fantasy Football Expo going on in August, on August the 13th. So that's kind of what I have in store for us for next week. But for Nate, I'm Justin, and we are signing out. Thanks a lot, guys.